Hello, everyone. Very excited to be here. Very excited to be here. And I know today is Thursday, January 16th, and we are starting out Are You Ready for AI in 2025? So I'm just going to wait a little bit. If you can say in the chat if you're ready, let me know. I'm always excited to see everyone here. And as you know, my goal here is that we actually do something together. So the goal is that we actually do something together in this time period. Okay, perfect. So I think, do I see any readies in the chat? I'm going to wait it out. So I'm going to wait it out for a couple more minutes, maybe a couple more seconds, I mean, and we'll see. Okay, perfect. Well, I think we are ready. At least I'm ready. If you watching this later, feel free to interact as if you were here. I know this is going to be a slightly different session today. So today we're going to talk about what is AI in 2025. It isn't just about chatting with a chatbot. It's going to be your everyday work companion. And so what we're going to go through are tools that you can use in your toolkit that you can actually start to implement and start to accelerate or enhance your professional work. So let's get started. So this is a year of partnership. So you can think of it as being your partner. And of course, there's always pros and cons, right? You'll be using a tool, it'll get updated, be new. There's always things we're scared about. So there's always things to think about in that session. But we're going to do an interactive tool check. As you know, I work throughout the year to really understand what things are new and exciting and what can I share with individuals. But one of the things I want to do is just take a second to see what are the categories that we could be using AI in and what are some of those tools. So one of the first things we look at is foundation tools. So these are things we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. In December, there's ChatGPT, there's Claude, there's Microsoft Copilot, which all these three are actually really great tools. And if you know me, my favorite happens to be Claude. So this is actually my Claude account. How can I help you today is just, I want to, because I know it's coming up, create a 5-page deck talking about all the new AI tools that people can use in 2025, right? So let's see what it says. I'm going to work this out. As you know, I love doing something on screen, and we're going to use this a little bit later in the conversation. So it's nice that we have some answers. As you can see, it has some answers, and this is great. So this is our first tool, is a chat bot like Claude, which I absolutely love. I really encourage you all to be using a chat bot and to be familiar with your favorite chat bot. Now, the next section, and this is really a fun one. I think someone asked last week about what can I integrate, or last time, what can I integrate in my everyday professional life? And one of them is an AI meeting assistant. Now, some could say I take my own notes, my notes are better, or I'll just listen to the recording. For me personally, listening to the recording is not great. Plus, if you've ever seen my notes, let's see if I can find some. If you've ever seen my notes, even if like my handwriting is terrible. It's terrible. I love my notes for what they are, but no one else can read them and they're not very useful. So in this case, I've actually started to use Fathom. So there's Fathom, Fireflies, Otter, pick your choice. I'm sure there's even more. But what I like about Fathom is that it's a really great setup. So one, it captures the recording. So you will still get the recording that you've expected. So you can still go through, you can see the transcript, you can walk around there. You can also see that they have this really lovely summary, right? Where I talked, in this case, Kelvin Jenkins. He is a great leader and I think speaker and trainer on generational leadership. If you've ever have a chance to hear from him, it's fantastic. One of the things that we talked about actually was him getting ready for AI and using that in his business. And as I was talking to him, I walked him through kind of a survey that we'll see later, and he was like checking all the boxes. So as you can see, like the meeting purpose was to discuss how he could use AI tools in his business. And it was like, yeah, Kelvin's doing great. like status, concerns, challenges. And what's really powerful about this view is, let's say you wanted a different look, right? Let's say I wanted a general look. It'll actually regenerate a slightly different analysis or a summary based on that. It also shows me my questions that I asked, the questions that he had asked, and the action item. So I actually did this action item. I sent him a link at the cursor video, but all that's in here. So you imagine your action items, the takeaway, what their questions were. And if you want to, you can call it a sales call, a Q&A, a demo, and try to see what fits the type of meeting you had and how it can pull out the information that you would need. So I highly suggest Fathom. In fact, maybe I'll add my referral code or just look it up, Fathom app. It's amazing. I suggest it. You can get, maybe my referral code gives you a month free, but you can for sure try it out for free. See how you like it. Let me know. And as you can see, you can ask the AI about the meeting you had. So gone are the days of having to write down notes and think about, oh, what did we talk about? Oh, what was the follow up? What was the action item? Where's the transcript? Where's the video? It's all right here. And then you want to throw it to Asana, Google Docs, Gmail, you can. Right? You can throw these things inside of your to-do list and move on with your life. So this is one of my favorite ones. This is pretty fantastic. I highly suggest go ahead and get yourself an AI meeting assistant. So this is one of the ones that I think you should do. Get in there and see how you like it. Next is AI agents and automation. Now we're really kicking it up a notch. The first two tools is like, okay, cool. First, so I can just download those. I could use them. It feels very natural. But the next tool is kind of give you a little bit of that automation flavor, starting to build agents. As you know, Salesforce has their big AI agent flow. They released it last, what was their last Dreamforce event in San Francisco? It was pretty big last year. But they've unveiled AI agents, and as we've seen, customer support agents are now AI, and they can do some tasks on their own, kind of with some autonomy. And there's one tool that I like called Make in this space called Make. Now, this is just a simple flow. Of course, you can get more complicated flows, but in this case, I take when someone would submit an intake form to me, that intake form with Google would actually populate a G sheet. That G sheet would go over and actually ask Claude some questions and have it respond to the intake provider with information that they gave me. So instead of a generic like, hey, thank you for submitting your insert X, Claude will go through, thank you for submitting. We appreciate your feedback about blah, 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 blah. We're excited to see you going. And it definitely sounds more like a conversation. And I know some of you out there like, "Ah, I've been hearing way too much from AI automation." But the goal isn't that we just send you random fluff. The goal is to one, acknowledge the receipt of what you sent in, and two, to make sure it is customized so you know that we received something from you and that we're responding to what you gave us. So there's something in that interaction that is a little more care about the situation, but I fully understand if someone's like, AI is not for me. And in this case, I actually have it sleep for a little bit. Like, hey, don't send it immediately because that definitely feels like it was an automated response. It takes some time when you're done, and then shoot out an email. And you can have this recursively go. You can have it take in replies. The way AI agents work right now is just a really great space. So I would encourage you to use Make. There's Zapier, like I said, there's Salesforce. There's a thing called Vertex. And if you're inclined to, you could also build your own agent. And we'll talk about that a little later, but you could also build your own with code. But this is one of those easier kind of drag and drop interfaces that you could have. It's called Make, make.com, and I've used it now for a while. It's a little complicated, but it's also not the most complicated. On to the next section, workplace productivity. Now, there's so many things. One, there's documents everywhere. AI is producing a lot of content, so I'm sure people are now submitting reports that have been completely written by AI and that are 10 times longer than they need to be. And everyone's using AI to do things. It's good, it's bad. I feel in the middle about this. But there are a couple places like Notion or ClickUp that actually have AI built in where you could easily summarize a document. Looking at Jasper for content creation is you can create that content with this marketing content, email content, even if you want to help it on your resume. So Jasper is a pretty good tool for content writing that I found. And then also Typeset, which is actually what we're using right now for this presentation, is an AI presentation maker. And it's what I personally like to use. And this is the reason why earlier we went and had it create this set of slides. I'm going to copy these slides and I'm going to go over to Typeset and we're going to do it together and see how this thing works. Create a deck, very simple tool, and I'm just going to paste in the words. Boom. There you go. Now, I wish it didn't have the words page one, page two, but we can easily take those out. And now I have a, what is it? 8-page slide deck, 8-page slide deck, done. Absolutely done. I could hit present on the tab and look at this, done. I mean, if this doesn't change your life, I don't know about a lot of things that will, but this to me is excellent, super easy to use. If you wanted to, you can go on and add in, they have these backslash commands. You can add an image. As you can see, it'll try to pull in an image that seems close to what you're asking for. Sometimes not the closest, but you can definitely see, you can add an image here and then go through, and with the magic create tool, you don't even have to design the slide. Just think about, how would I want this slide to look? So you can go through, pick a design. I like this one. Go ahead and done and done. And now, there we go. So as you can see, this is Typeset. It is amazing. It has shortened my time to deliver presentations. Maybe 10x actually. I can do a presentation now between 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour if I'm taking my time and picking out pictures and making sure the flow is great. But this used to take me hours. Building presentations is a key consulting skill. If anyone's ever done it, this thing cuts down time immensely. Combine that with Claude for like content generation for the slides themselves, and this thing for building the slides, game changer. This is a game changer. So I want you to go check it out. This is Typeset. If you need to, of course, click me on the link and I will definitely send you a link to this tool, but it is absolutely amazing. Okay, we're on to the next section and we're working through visualization tools. I am not a designer. I think I see things and I think I like some of them. I might be creative a little bit, but I can't tell you I'm an actual designer. Canva, I've tried Gamma, beautiful. I haven't really tried that much, but I tried Gamma. Canva has been a game changer for me as a non-creative person. I haven't done graphic design in my life. I used to draw comic strips when I was younger. I used to enjoy that, but that was like in high school, and that's been probably 20 plus years ago. Yeah, I know. So Canva, game changer. All these game changers, the Canva in particular, so you come in, let's make an image. Whoa, okay. I want to see a dog, swimming in the water with a lake backdrop. Let's try that out. Dog swimming in water, lake backdrop. Obviously, this is my first time using this tool, but amazing. I like that it chose a golden retriever. That's a pretty classic dog. And it's smiling at all the pictures because golden retrievers are very happy looking dogs, at least. And I love it. And that was it. Now we've created something. This is Canva. This is their Dream Lab information. And beyond that, you can make social media posts. You can make documents. You can make presentations. You can actually even make websites. So there's so much in Canva that I've done over the last year or two. I highly suggest it as an app to get into, just to try it out at least. The free version is great. The paid version is greater, but they both work. So absolutely, please try that. Our final section is actually because there's so many more tools out there. I'm just going to summarize and say there's industry specific or job specific tools that you can have. Here's just a couple. Of course, there are just way more things going on. HubSpot, marketing and sales tools, Cursor for software development, Lumen for video creation. I mean, the list will go on. There's actually a tool for lawyers, I think called Harvey AI. There are a ton of tools out there, a ton of things going on. So what I will say is through all of this, the last bit is on industry specific tools. And for some of my coders out there, Cursor is fantastic. You can actually use Claude in the back end or even OpenAI's O1 version, but Cursor has been a game changer, and I highly suggest any of you who decides that, hey, I want to code or start coding, try this out. You could use human language and code. I do suggest that you have a little bit of background in how codes are structured or syntax or form, or even a little bit of like the architecture, like where things go, which is basically just breaking an idea down in simple steps that something could follow step by step. Here's your input, here's a process, here's the expected output. Some of that just helps you code in general, but this will help you become the 10x coder almost overnight. It is incredible what's happening right now in the code space. So this is my last tool for today. As you can see, there's just so much going on. I want to know what's your favorite tool. Add that in the chat, add that in the comments, come back to me later. There's always these questions we have, but I'm going to add in as well. There's going to be a question on, hey, beyond all that, what should we do next, right? Where should we go next? What tools do you want to see next? I have a form that you can fill out to tell me what you're thinking about this. But I'm Crystal Bray. This is Getting Started Thursday with AI. I'm excited to see you here. If you're watching this later, feel free to interact, ask me questions. I'll be responding back to you. And I appreciate your patience and attention. Bye.